This is me, Ayman Yassin. Welcome to the third episode, which is directed to the IGCSE students. In this episode, I'm going to complete solving of this past paper, paper 2 multiple choice, February-March 2016. In the previous episodes, we have arrived question 20. We have solved these questions. So today I'm going to start with the question 21 till the end of this past paper. That means here in this episode we will solve for 20 questions. In the question number 21, a substance is heated with aluminum foil and sodium hydroxide. This is a question which is a part of test for gases, could be, or test for anions. So here aluminum foil and sodium hydroxide, when they are together at once, you have to think about any compound contains nitrate ion. Nitrate ion compounds with aluminum foil and sodium hydroxide, at once you will produce ammonia gas. So a gas is produced which turns damp red litmus paper to blue. That means this one with damp litmus paper, that means with H2O, is converted into NH4OH, which is alkali blue. So your compound is nitrate compound. In the question 22, an element doesn't conduct electricity and exist as diatomic molecules. So here from these two statements, that means your element is non-metal. Where in the periodic table is the element found? A, it's metal. B, transition metal. D, noble gas. So this is the non-metal. This one could be bromine, could be iodine. So both of them, they exist as diatomic and doesn't conduct electricity. In the periodic table, how does the metallic character of the elements vary from left to right? Now this 23 we can, according to the question 22 here, we have metal, then non-metal. So the metallic character is decreased from left to right, as you have started with metal and you ended with non-metal. So that means metallic character is decreased, so it decreases. In the question 24, the elements in a group of the periodic table show the following trends. First statement, the element with lowest proton number has the lowest reactivity. So here, according to this statement, that means you are in a group number 1 or 2, because the reactivity of group number 1 and 2 is increased as the proton number increase. But this statement, the element with lowest proton number has the lowest reactivity, so this is correct. It's going to apply on group number 1 and 2. The elements in the group form basic oxide. This one also for both of them. So that means sodium oxide, it's basic oxide. Magnesium oxide, it's basic oxide. So from the options, you don't have both of them. Only you have group number 1. This is group number 4. This is group number 6, and this one, it's group number 8. Sorry, it's this one, it's 7, and this one, it's 6, and this one is 4, and here group number 1. So the best answer, the correct answer is A. Brass is an alloy of two metals. Which row gives a correct use for the two metals from which brass is made? So first of all, you need to know brass is made from which elements. Brass is a mixture of two elements. These elements are copper and zinc. Copper is used for what? Electrical wiring. And zinc, it's used for galvanizing steel. So option A, it's the best option which it fits to the brass, because the metal one, which is copper, used for electrical wiring, this is correct, and metal 2 used for galvanizing, it's zinc. Iron is extracted from hematite. This hematite, it's iron oxide, the ore of iron. The hematite contains, because it's ore, that means it's not pure, there is some impurities. These impurities, actually, it's silicon oxide, which is sand. Now, this oxide of metal or non-metal, you need to ask yourself, it's for non-metal. That means this oxide is acidic. Acidic oxide. How you are going to remove acidic oxide? By making a reaction with basic oxide to neutralize it. So calcium oxide, is it metal oxide? Yes, so it's metal oxide, it's fit to react with this one. Carbon doesn't work here. Carbon dioxide, it's oxide of carbon, that means another acidic oxide here. So this one doesn't work. And this slag, actually, slag is the product of reaction of, let me write it here, calcium oxide plus silicon oxide, you will form slag, which is always we need to start with more reactive metals. So calcium, silicon, O3. So this one, calcium silicate, which is a slag, which is used for road foundation. So calcium oxide is the best answer to remove the silicon oxide, which is sand, as an impurity. In the question 27, you have here thermite reaction. The reaction below is called the thermite reaction between aluminium with iron. This reaction is producing iron and aluminium oxide because aluminium more reactive than iron. So here we have substitution reaction, displacement reaction. So which pair of substances react in a similar way? That means according to the reactivity, your metal should be more reactive than iron in the compound. So this one, iron, is it more reactive than magnesium? No. So we don't have displacement reaction. Is iron more reactive than zinc? Also, it doesn't work. Here, magnesium and copper oxide. Magnesium actually is more reactive than copper, so we will have displacement reaction. So it's C. Zinc and aluminium. Zinc actually is less reactive than aluminium oxide, so we don't have reaction. Only magnesium with copper oxide, you will form magnesium oxide plus copper, which is totally similar to this reaction. One method of preventing the rusting of iron is to keep oxygen away from the surface of the metal. Which way of rust prevention doesn't use this method? That means one of these methods doesn't use the way of keeping oxygen away from the surface. Coating the iron with grease, yes, it's used. Connecting the iron to a more reactive metal, here, both of these metals, they will be contacted directly to the oxygen, so we haven't prevented, but we have prevented the iron from rusting according to the reactivity of these metals, according to the displacement reaction. So this is the best answer. Covering the iron with plastic, you will prevent the oxygen away from the surface, and painting the iron also you will prevent this metal, this iron from in the question 29, the diagram shows how water is treated to make it suitable for drinking. Here you have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 and stage 4. Before you are going to chlorination the water to make it suitable to that means drinkable water, in the stage 2 you need to make condensation or distillation or evaporation or filtration. That means you are, first of all, you need to filter, then chlorinate it, then you have to drink it. So the best answer is filtration. It's very clear and it's very easy question to get a mark. Question 30. Nitrogen monoxide is produced in a car engine when petrol is burned. The gases from the car engine are passed through catalytic converter. In the catalytic converter, the nitrogen monoxide reacts with carbon monoxide to form nitrogen and carbon dioxide. Which statement is not correct? Carbon monoxide oxidized in the catalytic converter? Yes, because carbon monoxide into carbon dioxide gain one oxygen, so you have oxidation reaction, is oxidized. Carbon monoxide is produced by complete combustion reaction of petrol. Actually here carbon monoxide with complete doesn't fit, so this doesn't fit to the question, so it's not correct statement. Nitrogen monoxide is formed by the reaction of nitrogen oxide and oxygen. Yes, it's correct. Nitrogen monoxide is reduced in the catalytic converter. Yes, because it was nitrogen monoxide, it's converted into nitrogen. How? By removing the oxygen, so it's a reduction reaction. In the question 31, which pollutant gas can be produced as a result of incomplete combustion? Now, just a few minutes, we have few seconds actually, we talked about it. Here you have alkane, incomplete combustion, that means carbon monoxide. Fertilizers are used to provide 3 elements needed to increase the yield of crops. What are these 3 elements? N, P, K, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Ammonium nitrate and calcium phosphate. You have phosphorus, you have nitrogen, but you don't have potassium. Ammonium nitrate and potassium sulfate. You have here potassium and you have nitrogen, but you don't have phosphorus. Potassium nitrate, you have potassium, you have nitrogen, you have calcium phosphate, you have phosphorus, so it's C. Potassium nitrate, why it's wrong? This one, I mean option D. Potassium nitrate, potassium you have it, you have nitrogen, but you don't have phosphorus, so the best answer is C. In question 33, what's a property of concentrated sulfuric acid but not of dilute sulfuric acid? The difference between them, this one contains water. It's a dehydrating agent. Yes, sulfuric acid is dehydrating agent, but dilute sulfuric acid already it contains H2O, it's diluted, that means dissolved in a water, so couldn't be used this one as dehydrating agent. So only concentrated sulfuric acid could be used as dehydrating agent. And here this one, both of them could be neutralized, could be used to neutralize the alkali, and both of them produce white precipitate with barium nitrate. Why? Barium will react with sulfate ion to form white precipitate of barium sulfate, solid. Both of them, they are react with metals to give salt and hydrogen. Yes, because it's acid, doesn't matter, it's diluted or concentrated. So the best answer for question 33 is A. Here, why does a farmer put lime, which is calcium oxide, on the soil? Calcium oxide, it's basic oxide, so it make the soil less acidic. That means soil, its pH, for example, let's say pH of the soil before adding the lime, let's say it's 6, but when you will add the calcium oxide, you will neutralize the pH of soil, so you will be what? Less acidic. Maybe it will be pH let's say 6.9, which is very close to the neutral. To make the soil less alkali? No. Already we are adding the calcium oxide is to make the soil less acidic, which is C. Here in this question, you have to memorize the fractions which are obtained from fractional distillation of crude oil or petroleum. So here you have mist fraction. What's this name? What the name of this fraction? Is it alcohol? No, we don't have any fraction of alcohol in the fractional distillation. So one of them should be, which is naphtha. You may check it from your course book. So this is naphtha, which is used for to make chemicals. Naphtha. You have to memorize one use for each fraction. This one, furnace gas, for gas which is used for cooking, gasoline for fuel for cars, and naphtha for making chemicals, kerosene which is used for airplane fuel, diesel oil for trucks, and lubricating fraction which is used as lubricating oil, and this butadiene which is used for foundation of the road, asphalt. In question 36, which compound are alkanes? So to solve this question, you need to know the general formula of alkane, which is CnH2n plus 2. So could we apply for this one? Yes. Here if you have 4, that means hydrogen should be 10 according to this general formula. So this one is correct. This one here, the number of hydrogen 2 times of, so this is alkene, not alkane. This is also alkene, and this one C6, 6 times 2 plus 2 is 14, so this is another alkane. So you have W and C, so option B. Question 37. The statements below are about the alcohols homolog series. So here we are talking about alcohol family. The alcohols have the same formula, yes, which is CnH2n plus 1 OH. You can apply it for all alcohols, methanol, ethanol, propanol, all of them, they have this general formula. So they have same general formula, could be A, B, or C. The alcohols have chemical properties because they have same functional group, so they have same chemical properties. So C. And let's make sure from the melting points of alcohols increase. Yes. Why the methanol and this one ethanol? Why ethanol has boiling point or melting point higher than methanol? Because the number of carbon atoms increases. So the best answer is C. This is a question about polymer. About the functional group. Which structure represents a compound that dissolves in water to form acidic solution? So, first of all, you need to know the compounds which are soluble or dissolved in water. The compounds, they have OH, because these OH, they will form hydrogen bond with the water, so you may dissolve them. But here we don't need just to dissolve them. We need to dissolve them and we need to have acidic solution. So this is alkane, this is alkene, and this is alcohol, and this one it's carboxylic. What is it? Carboxylic what? Carboxylic acid. So acid, acidic solution. So the best answer is D. Question 39. The partial structure of addition polymer is shown this one. Addition polymer. That means you have double bond between them before forming this part of the polymer. So all of them, they have the options A, B, and C, D. They have double bond, so it's okay. Now you can see that this part similar to this part, and this one is similar to this part. That means each part contains two carbons between them, double bond, with one hydrogen, and could be this one H and this one Cl, or Cl. That means you may put here Cl and here the H. Doesn't matter. The position of these atoms doesn't matter. So which option which is fit to this one? Is it this one? No. This one? Yes. Which is the chloroethene. Chloroethene. And the last question of this past paper, which statement about polymers is correct? Addition polymers are all biodegradable. This is totally wrong. Condensation polymers can all be hydrolyzed to give amino acid. No, only the proteins which are condensation polymers could give amino acids. And for example, polyester, it's another example of condensation polymers. When they will hydrolyze, they will give the alcohols and carboxylic acid. So it's totally wrong. Condensation polymers only exist in nature? No. We have a lot of synthetic polymers, and these polymers are condensation polymers. For example, all the polyesters that are used for synthesizing or making clothes, they are industrial, synthetic polymers. They aren't nature. And the last option, forming addition polymers produce only one product. So you may have this example. This is monomer, and this is the polymer. So one reactant, one product. So it's D. So by the end of this past paper, I hope you have learned the new things. You have learned how to solve these past papers, not by solving which is best answer, and actually by knowing why the other statements, why the other options are totally incorrect, because you are increasing your knowledge how to analyze each different question. So thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode.